Hello everyone and welcome back to JB's Total Gaming. It has been a long time since we've done a video for sure, and if you're wondering why I'm doing a video today, basically for the first time in I don't know how long, I did a stream. We just played some Board Game Arena with my son. Being in quarantine for all this time where he doesn't live with me all the time, we have kind of limited our contact, and it was something that I wanted to do for us to spend some time together, and we did that today, and it kind of got me nostalgic for doing this sort of stuff. So today I'm doing my first ever Magic the Gathering Arena video. Why? Because it's been something I've been playing and I feel like doing. A while back I kind of gave up on the channel really going somewhere after they demonetized channels under 1,000 subscribers and things like that. I didn't have the time. I'd been working overtime and all that, but I had some time this weekend and I figured, hey, I've been enjoying playing this deck. Why not show it off? So I'm doing this video just because I feel like doing it, and maybe we'll do some more in the future. We'll see. So checking out this deck here, the reason I want to show this off is this is kind of a hybrid of some things you may see out there and some things that I kind of threw in personally. There's a lot of decks out there that are copies of everything, but I've been having a lot of fun playing this deck, and the reason this deck is a little bit odd is you could almost call it a mono black deck, but at the same time we're running well, in this case we have the Mothra card, but I don't even remember what the card is actually called, Brood Moth or something or whatever, that basically resurrects non-flying creatures when they die and makes them flying creatures. And the reason this card I'm playing it in the deck is because I want to bring back creatures to ping enemies. Do a lot of effects to deal 1 damage to the enemy or 2 damage to the enemy, so on and so forth, over a period of time. We have a lot of ways to do that. So this Scorpion here, this has been a great card. When I saw it announced, I was like, okay, this is a fine card or whatever. But in certain decks, this has really been valuable, and there's a lot of ways, at least a few ways we have to bring this creature back. You know, if it dies to this, we have ways to sacrifice it with, like, Priest of the Forgotten God. So I had been playing a lot of Orzhov of a sacrifice deck. I know Rakdos is potentially a little bit better than Orzhov. I just prefer Orzhov colors. I play for fun, believe it or not, and that's part of the reason I don't really like Magic the Gathering Arena, because most of the rewards are based on wins, and that's the only way to go about it. But anyways, so there's all kinds of ways of sacking creatures and dealing damage and things like Cruel Celebrant that will do that as well. Now, this deck does not run the Cats and the Cauldrons. If you're not familiar with them, talking about Cauldron Familiar, I believe, and then Witch's Cauldron or something like that, where basically it's a 1-drop that you can keep sacrificing and bringing back and dealing 1 damage and all this stuff. I hate playing against those decks, so I don't play those decks. So while this tries to do a similar thing, it does that without that card. And would this deck be better with that card? Maybe, but we're not playing it. We do have Whisper Squad here, which is a great new addition in the Ikoria set. A card that seemed pretty good, but I really, in the right deck, can be a lot of fun. And it basically lets us be able to pay 2 mana to get a card out of our deck, not from our hand, and put it on the battlefield, which again, we can sacrifice it or get it killed or whatever, different ways, which can be very effective. Lastodon Reaver is in the deck because we get 2 creatures with 1 card, which again, we want as many creatures as possible to do things with them. Now, and this is where the deck gets a little bit weird. Apart from being a mono black deck, mostly that runs Ayara, that also runs white creature and a hybrid creature here, we do have some strange things that you wouldn't normally see, like Bankrupt and Blood. Now, this is a card from a couple of sets ago, still in Standard, one of the Ravnica sets, I don't remember which one, where we pay 2 mana, sacrifice 2 creatures to draw 3 cards. Now, normally, sacrificing 2 creatures and paying 2 mana, drawing 3 cards is great, but that's a lot. But we're in a deck that we are looking for sacrifice outlets and wanting to kill our creatures, bring them back, and ping the enemy. So Priest of the Forgotten Gods is one of the main ways we're going to do that. We draw a card, we gain mana, we deal damage, opponent has to sacrifice creatures. So this is one of the main ways we're wanting to sacrifice creatures. But sometimes we don't have Priest out there, we don't have IR out there that allows you to sacrifice as well. So this also gives us more card draw. So in a deck that's pretty low mana focused, you know, with 8 1-drops and then even more 2-drops here, and some 3, and then, you know, a couple of these 4-drops here, with such a low mana cost, having that card draw is great. And sometimes we want to be able to kill creatures. Now, again, we want to be able to get creatures out there. In part, we have AR in the deck. We have 3 of them. It's a legendary creature, and you have 1 out at a time. And again, this is another way, because anytime we play a black creature, so Lazartov Reaver here, 2 black creatures, this one here, so we'll get the ping for 1 when it comes out, and then 2 when it dies. So you can see how this is meant to work in order to kind of get that thing going over and over again. And then we also have this card here that there's a lot of decks out there using this as a companion. A lot of those decks are good. I've seen different color combinations even using this card with Loris, where if it's out, we can play up to a 2 converted mana cost permanent from our graveyard. Again, it's meant to be there, you know, for some recursion and things like that. Yet another way we have to ping those. So we have Cruel Celebrant to ping. We have this to ping. We have Priest of Forgotten Gods to ping. We have this to ping. We have Bastion of Remembrance. So the reason this card is in a deck, it is 3 mana, which is a little high for this deck. However, the reason I really like it, not only does it give us, again, another ability to ping to deal 1 damage and gain 1 life, which also helps us. This deck sometimes does well, not always, I've lost to cycling decks, but it can do well to cycling decks against them because we have enough life gain in it that we get out of range of that one big spell. I don't remember what the spell is called that the cycling decks use, where they cycle a bunch of cards and then just hit you for a bunch of damage. We can sometimes kind of out life gain those decks depending on the situation. So cards like this, again, give us another ping effect, and the reason I like this card so much in this deck is it also creates another creature that we can allow to die. We can, you know, sacrifice to Bankrupt in Blood, all that kind of stuff. And then this card is just fantastic. Call it a Death Dweller is just a great card in a lot of decks. Being able to bring back 2 creatures with 1 card, and then oftentimes we're able to bring back, say, like a Serrated Scorpion and a Lazatov Reaver, which is giving us 3 creatures for 1 card. And if we have AR out and things like that, it kind of goes off. Now, honestly, I've thought about cutting the Moth card. There have been games where I didn't want it in there. Maybe I just wanted maybe some Orzhov Enforcers to have the potential death touch, and again, another 2 creatures in 1 card, because when it dies, it creates another one. At one point, I even had Hunted Witnesses in this deck, and it worked really well. A 1 mana card that gives you 2 creatures, basically, because when it dies, it creates another one, is very powerful, but then it is missing out like on the AR synergies. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do this, but this is just kind of my version of the deck. So again, we could go mono black with that, although we wouldn't be able to use Cruel Celebrant, which is one of the key components of the deck as well. We could use Loris because it's hybrid mana, but this is how I've set it up. I don't, because this deck wants to be fast, I do have the Godless Shrines that we can pay life for, but I don't have the Scrylands because I just find it a little too slow. And I have 3 Fabled Passages in here. It's just kind of a way of balancing. Oftentimes I'm playing this either when I have 3 lands out and I can make it whichever land I want, or on turn 1 if I don't have a 1-drop. There are situations where I do have to play it that it comes in tapped, but it's still much more consistent than a Scryland where you're always going to be scrying. And for the most part, most of the time, I'm not really needing to scry in this deck. Worst case scenario, maybe we're getting a land when we don't need it, but that's kind of set up out of the deck. So I probably talked way too long about that. Let's go ahead and play some ranked games here, and it's interesting. I definitely, you know, this deck hasn't been, it's not like it's been beating everybody, but I've definitely played, just Sky Fires and beaten those decks. I've definitely played, I forget the companion, the blue-white one that bounces everything. We are often in a situation, actually the last game I played with this deck, it ended, we pinged them down to 0 and we had like 52 life at that point or something like that. Obviously it depends on draws and things like that. This isn't like a perfect deck. Basically I wanted to show this deck off because it's been fun. Now I probably should have thought about scrying, because right here we're actually in one of these situations because we have Castle Lochthwain and not a swamp. Normally, this card, we have enough swamps in the deck that I'm never playing it tapped. But in this situation, I think we're just going to go get a swamp with this, which is disappointing. So I was just saying that we usually don't have to worry about this. But, of course, right away, we're playing it tapped as a swamp because we, had the Castle Lochthwain situation where we don't have a swamp out. Usually, that isn't what happened. But I would have loved to be able to play the Scorpion turn 1. So, alright, none of the Ebon Legion. So we could be in trouble here. This deck, especially because we got kind of a slow start, may be able to outpace us here. So, let's see, do we want to go... No, what are they going to get rid of? Just trying to think of what we want to go with here on turn 2. We'll have to see what they get rid of. Are they going to get rid of Iara? I'm really not sure. So, just so you know, this is my first ever. Okay, Cruel Celebrant makes sense as well. But the card we're actually going to play is Priest, because we just drew it. And next turn, we're able to. This is another reason I love Lazatov Reaver, is if Priest survives, it's again one card we're able to play to get 2 creatures that we can sacrifice to Priest. I am not a Magic expert player. I'm a novice Magic player. Okay, so they're definitely playing mono black. I think I saw a video on basically this deck before. So they're trying to do some similar things to us. Heraldic Banner is a very good card. It's good for mana ramping, but I didn't really feel like I could fit it into the deck, the way that I might have wanted to. So, yeah, I think we'll do this, and then we'll see what we draw. Because we could, we could play either of these 1-drops, but we could play Bastion, though, of Remembrance afterwards with the 2 mana that we get from this. So, yeah, we gotta submit that 1 player. So, I consider myself a novice Magic player. This video is not meant to be, like expert advice or anything. It's just showing off a deck I've been having fun with. And, you know what? I think maybe we go Iara here. And then next turn we can play Bastion and then a Whisper Squad or a Scorpion or something and sacrifice 2 creatures if all that stuff survives. So Iara won't give us a trigger if we play Scorpion or Whisper Squad or something like that. And that may not have been the right play. I'm not here to teach you how to play Magic. I'm not here to teach you what the best meta decks in the world are. Basically, I've been having fun playing this deck. I had some fun streaming today, which you can also check me out at JB's Total Gaming, which I haven't streamed in a long time. But if you feel like following me in case we do some more streaming, like I said, we were doing some Board Game Arena. And because I've been enjoying this deck, I figured I'd do a video to show this off. Because we're playing a deck that is kind of, sort of similar to ours, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens here. So I think we definitely shock this in so that we can play this. We'll get that creature. Again, this is why I like this. And then play this. And now we can use our Priest ability. And then if we end up getting another creature with our draw, we won't have any mana to play. Oh, we'll have 2 mana from the Priest. So maybe we will be able to play something. We'll see. Okay, that's fine. No, we get a land. Oh, well, we still have 2 mana, though, so we can actually play both of the Whisper Squads. But I think what we're going to do first is we're going to play 1 and just sack it right away. We're trying to build up our life total, basically. And, yeah. And we can use this as a chump blocker if we need to. So you can see here, our opponent, so 2 Knight of the Ebon Legions, that's scary, obviously. Our opponent definitely has stuff that they can do, but our hope is basically to outping our opponents. And like I said, worst case scenario is drawing lands when we don't really need that. So are we going to block in this situation? How much can our opponents buff up here? So they have 4 mana potential, so they can buff this once. But I really want to be able to use Priest. So, although we can just, we can't bring out another guy though if we don't have one out there. So I think we're not going to block this turn. Yeah, again, if you're seeing mistakes in here, if you're saying, oh my gosh, you should have done this, you should have done whatever. Oh, interesting. Huh. I will admit, I think that is the first time I've seen that card in Standard. Well, you're not hitting much there at least. Alright, and we do have Castle Lochthwain as well, but instead we get this, which I am totally fine with. And then let's bring out another dude. There we go. And now, this is what I'm talking about here. So now we can go with this, submit 1, sack these 2, and we'll deal a total of 4, 2 from the Priest, 2 from the Cruel Celebrant. And then, yeah, okay, so they'll do that, which is fine. Let's see here. I don't think we want to sack anything with Iara, though. Oh, yeah, we do. Duh. Of course we... Oh, we got to resolve this, so they'll gain 2 life. So, yeah, if we sack, they will gain life, so that is not ideal. So I think we wait. I think we wait. Although, Yeah. Now, if we attack, they're forced to block. Yeah, we'll attack as they're forced to block here. Now, that's the thing. We can't sacrifice something, but they either have to block or take two. Basically, sorry, is what I was trying to get out there. So now, if they attack in with anything, we block with the Cruel Celebrant and win. Don't really understand the play here unless they've got something else. There we go. Okay, so first game with the deck kind of showed off what the deck can do. Let's do at least one more. Maybe we'll get another type of deck or whatever. So you can see there, we were playing against an aggressive mono black deck, which has some similarities, but what we were trying to do. But instead of Knight of the Abyssinian is a fantastic card. I love that card. I'm somebody who loves to play vampires. I used to play Magic the Gathering back in the old Return to Ravnica through old Theros sort of sets, and then came back into it kind of around Guilds of Ravnica again, unsurprisingly, or surprisingly. It's kind of a weird synergy there. And the first deck I built when I came back in, back when what were the older dinosaur and vampire and pirate sets and stuff like that are no longer in standard but were a little while ago. That was the first deck I built, was an Orzhov vampire deck. That's the sort of stuff I like to play. So I love that card, but this deck, the pings on it, are pretty effective. So we're relatively low rank in ranked play. I really don't play the game that much. I usually try to get up to gold to get some more rewards by the end of the season, and that's about it as far as that is concerned. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this as an opening hand. We'll need another black to get to Ayara, but I like where this is going. We play Scorpion turn 1, Reaver turn 2. Yeah, definitely all right with this. But like I said, and then there we go. So we can definitely play Fabled Passage, turn 4, and then turn it into whatever we need at the time, maybe another swamp in order to get AR out. But yeah, I enjoy playing a game for fun. I will sometimes play, I almost feel like conceding right now. Here we go, Cauldron, Familiar, and Witch's Oven. This is the exact deck that we were talking about. And honestly, this deck may very well beat us. It may be better at its game. Oh, we might be able to get out AR turn 3 here. We'll decide what we want to do. But let's go into attack, and they'll block and sacrifice probably, because this deck is... You can see here why I don't like playing against this deck, because we're going to have this happen a lot over and over, and they're going to sack the cat and bring the cat back. If you are currently playing Magic the Gathering Standard, you're familiar with this deck and how it works. If you're just randomly checking out the video because you used to watch my stuff and you're still subscribed to the channel, hey, thank you for that. But yeah, this is one of the meta decks right now, and these cards could potentially make this deck better. This is a kind of a Rakdos, a red-black version of a sacrifice deck, and that cat and Witch's Oven combo is it's very good. That's it's very good. What else can I say? This deck maybe runs Murderous Rider. Maybe runs the Heartless Act. Get rid of a creature that doesn't have counters on it. But I think we're still gonna go with Ayara here. I just like that. Well, let's go in and at least deal 1 damage, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. So there, yeah. So again, and this is what this deck does. So they can block out one of them with the 1/3. They can block out the other one with the 1/1, but then sacrifice. They're really going to do that. Interesting. I mean, if they don't sacrifice the cat, I am more than happy with this. But maybe they're hoping we won't order to blockers. Okay, yeah, that's not what they're doing. So if you're not super familiar with Magic, while I am a novice player, I do know the basic rules of it. And if my opponent had blocked with both of those creatures, then I would get to choose what order that they block me in, and I would be able to potentially kill the cat if they didn't sacrifice it. But at the same time, they would, because they would deal 2 total damage, they would kill the Elastigiraf Reaver there. But, you know, that didn't really make sense for them to do that. So instead, they just take no damage, which... So they keep pinging and pinging and pinging, but now we're going to have our own possibilities here. And I really like this next turn because we, if AR survives, there's Murderous Rider. Okay, yep, kind of what we were expecting. I was going to say, if Murderous Rider survives, then, you know, we play Mothra, we sacrifice a creature. All that is good stuff, but it didn't. So... I really... Just trying to think how we want to do this. You know what? This is also 3 damage in the air. So let's go ahead and bring this out. Why not? And... yeah, let's just attack in. So again, they have shenanigans they can do. And if they do, no, this is non-token creatures though, isn't it? Oh no, never creature you control. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was non-token creatures or not. So if they kill our 1/1, we'll get it back as a 1/1 flyer, which is absolutely fine by me. But again, it's just, yeah, I have fun playing Magic, believe it or not, and that's kind of what this deck and this video is about. Hey, I've been having fun playing lately. Unless I'm wrong with this, I think this will come back. No? I gotta read the card here. Without flying, return to the battlefield and it's under control with a flying counter on it. Huh. I don't know. Somebody in the comments, if anyone actually watches this video, which I'd be surprised by since I haven't done a video in so long. If anyone does watch this video and they want to tell me why that didn't trigger, I would appreciate it. Oh, or is it that when tokens leave the battlefield, they're gone? Is that the idea? Because, like, if you bounce a token, it's gone? I don't know. Whatever. We're having fun. That's the point of the video and the point of the deck. Although, to be honest with you, I would like to beat this deck just because I hate playing against this deck. Okay, so exile effect. No, wait, is this leave the battlefield or die? Dies. Okay, so yes, exile gets around that. So yeah, in general, a lot of the decks I play tend to be smaller creatures. Orzhov, there's some Selesnya decks like March of the Multitude and stuff like that. So like, in particular, I don't know. I also, not only do I like vampires, but the Cruel Celebrant that pings, like, yeah, exile effects can be super annoying. So we will definitely play this as a swamp, because we shouldn't need more than 2 white mana in most cases. And what do we have in the graveyard? We can bring back Ayara. So this can bring back 3 total cost and up to 2 cards. So, do we want to bring back Ayara, or do we just want another Moth? Or do we want this? Just trying to think of how we want to play this. Well, let's attack in. Now, they look like they don't really have mana to deal with here, which, if we end up winning this game, may be why we end up winning this game. So, let's see here. We'll deal 3 damage. I think maybe we want Bastion. Although, being able to deal 6 in the air, that seems pretty good. It's slightly more mana efficient as well. We could bring back AR next turn. Yeah, let's do that. Because this surprisingly is not a legendary creature, which is something that when I first saw it, I assumed it was. This is a creature when I saw it revealed. So I was just saying earlier, there were some cards that I didn't really realize how good they were. This card, I think I overestimated how good it was. It's a good card. And the fact that it's not legendary makes it an even better card. But I do have to say, playing with it, it's fun. It's a cool card. It's not... I don't find it to be broken or anything, though. So... I'm just trying to think of what our best bet is. You know what? We're just going to do it. Let's go ahead and attack in first. And let's let our opponent do all the things that our opponent does. And if they choose to double block here, I was going to say if they choose to double block here, I'm fine with that, because then we just get a flying Lazatov Reaver. And then do we get, is it when you cast her as it enters the battlefield? Yeah, so would we get a 1/1 as well? Yeah, that would be nice. So I think our opponent doesn't seem like they're going to be killing a bunch of stuff. So I think getting Aara back and then being able to play Lazatov Reaver next turn, if we get another... oh, actually, no, we can play it right now. What I was talking about. For some reason, I thought I had one less mana than I did. So there we go. So, yeah, I think we're all right. So if Aara survives, again, which is unlikely, we'll be able to play Bastion of Remembrance, sacrifice a creature, do all that jazz, and then the creature comes back if it doesn't have flying, which is cool. We have Bastion of Remembrance out, pings for more, and if they stop all that, we still have 6 damage flying in the air. So now, again, we got kind of lucky there. Okay, that is not ideal for us. They're going to kill our Aara, but I'm thinking we still probably win. I would imagine. Yeah, because they can sacrifice Aara, which is bad. You know, this is a cool card. This is sort of card. I don't know if I've played with this in the deck, but I really like this card. It's a cool card in a sack deck. In general, my sacrifice decks have been Orzhov and not Rakdos or Mardu, so they've been white-black as opposed to red-black or red-white-black. But it's a cool card. Depending on what they're able to do, how much life they're able to gain here, it may even buy them a turn, because they have the cats that they can bring back to block, because of the life gain and stuff they'll get with this. Because, yeah, I mean, they're... Oh, that was smart. That was smart. Yeah. So they're sacking the cat with Aara, and then they're going to sack Aara. So, yeah, good play, good play. Again, like I said, not an expert Magic player. This may actually buy them a turn. I still think it's unlikely that they're going to be able to win. But... you know, good plays, good plays. But we shall see, we shall see. Now that they've got, you know, more options, they've got 3 cats to keep resummoning, and they've still got the rider who's on an adventure. I'm not sure what I think about the adventure mechanic, but, you know, it's still kind of cool being able to get an ability and then play a creature later. So, yeah, they're definitely mathing out how they're going to survive a turn here, because the rider has lifelink, which could definitely help them as well. Dreadhorde Butcher, So it gives them another blocker, and that's the one that pings for when it dies, right? Yeah. Huh, so we really wish we had Aara here, which we don't. But we do what we can, we do what we can. So, let's see here. They can play 2 cats, so they can block everything on the ground. They can block everything on the ground easily. I don't know. Maybe we're hoping that they screw it up or something. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so they're not going to block with the Dreadhorde Butcher, which, you know, makes sense because they don't want to. And, you know, they're getting back into it here. They're pinging us better than we are pinging them right now, but we do have 6 damage in the air. That's kind of our saving grace. So, and that could, you know, be a potential problem with the deck is... Yeah, I mean, we're kind of pinging each other back and forth, but I'm hoping we eventually get to the end of this game. But this is why I hate playing against this deck. So, come on, you can do it any day now. I mean, we know what they're doing. We know really they're blocking with Dreadhorde. I'm surprised by that. I mean, they can kill they can kill my 1/1 with it, but that's just pinging them more. So that seems... I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay. So even... I'm trying to think of how they're going to survive this here. So because they didn't... I'm trying to remember how this works here. Alright. Good game. Yeah, I was just like, I'm mathing it out here. I'm like, they survived that turn. That was a cool play with the firstborn card and whatever, but I was like, I don't see how they're going to math it out. So again, if you're watching this and you're aggravated at my bad play, I'm sorry. I'm a casual player who plays for fun. It's been going well, so I don't know. Why not one more? All right, well, we're back. We cut a game there, not because we lost. I don't mind showing, believe me, I know I'm a bad player. I don't mind showing losses, but we just got mana screwed. We got stuck on 2 the entire time and couldn't really do anything. So that's kind of a boring video to watch. So we can pay to bring in Godless Shrine. So because we can do that, this seems like a pretty good opening hand. As long as we get mana within the next 2 turns, then we should be good to go. I was explaining if you are in the game I ended up cutting because we just literally couldn't do anything. If you're enjoying the video, I'd appreciate like whatever. But yeah, this was a channel that we did board game stuff, and it grew a little bit, and then I had some life situations happen where I couldn't really afford to keep doing the board gaming stuff, so I did like video game stuff, mostly indie game stuff, and then eventually I switched to just doing Warframe videos. Warframe's free to play. Yes, we're going to pay 2 life, and here is why. We're going to do this. We're going to bring out Whisper Squad. We're going to bring out another Whisper Squad so that we have another one out on the board that we can use eventually. And then we're going to sack these 2. We should have attacked in with the Scorpion. That was a mistake on my part. And with 2 mana, with 2 mana, we're just going to activate ability because we're not going to sack 2 creatures because we would have to sack the priest to do that. But basically, yeah, I really, as much as I enjoy doing videos and stuff like that, we kind of hit a point where... So we are going to attack in here, and this might get countered. Okay, it didn't get countered. So this time we are going to remember to attack. And we want Cruel Celebrant out because it's good. And I'm fine with losing both of the Whisper Squad here. Now, I thought about playing Bastion, but we went with this because I'm fine getting rid of the Whisper Squad because we will be able to replay one if we get a land with Loris next turn. So we'll see. And we did get a land. So I think... Yeah, why not? Now this might get countered. Yeah. And I'm fine with that. Yeah, we have stuff we can do next turn, so... I figured the counter spell was probably there, so... I think we played this... Exile target spell. Well, that's a bummer. That is a bummer indeed. So, I haven't really played against too many counter decks lately. Kind of weird. So what do we got here? Yeah, I don't think this deck necessarily does well against flash decks. So... Wow, this just is not going well. Do we do it? It's kind of insane to do this. But I feel like, you know what? Why not? I feel like if we don't do something, we're in trouble. There we go. That's a good card to get. If this doesn't get countered, we win. And it gets countered. Yeah, I don't know, but I was really trying to go to the channel. YouTube put a thing in where if you're under 1,000 subscribers, okay, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, that game worked out even against the counter deck. There we go. So yes, I didn't delete the one loss because we lost. It just watching a game where you get stuck on 2 mana doesn't really seem all that fun. And after I did that, I still tried to grow the channel, get to 1,000 subscribers. We got to 500 and some. But with everything going on in life, with work issues, with life issues and whatever, I kind of just stopped the channel because I was really getting frustrated. I was trying to make it grow. Wasn't really working. I was only halfway to the goal of even being able to run ads, and it seemed like it was becoming more of a detriment in my life than a positive. But today, like I said, I did some streaming, enjoyed playing some video games, and I was like, hey, I've been having fun playing this game in Magic the Gathering Arena. I've been enjoying this deck that's like stuff similar to what other people are doing, but I feel like this deck is still different than any lists that I've seen out there. I don't really tend to meta deck, but I do. I watch like Day 9 and Merchant and some people, and I haven't really seen like this version of the deck, and I'm not saying it's better than the meta decks out there or even competitive, but I've been having fun playing it, so decided to do a video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, and maybe we'll talk to you again soon. That's usually how I'm in my videos, but I haven't done a video in like 8 months. But if you enjoyed it, let me know. Maybe we'll do some more. Maybe we'll do some other content. Thanks a lot for hanging out, sticking around, guys, and we'll talk to you sometime, I guess. All right, bye.